Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare quarter-dollar coins, cause some of these coins hold an incredible history, and some are worth millions. So today, we are gonna uncover the rarest varieties and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing and talked about coins to come out of the United States Mint in recent years. The Wilma Maniller Washington quarter dollar, minted in the year 2022. This isn't just another coin to pass along in your next transaction. Oh no. This is a coin with a powerful legacy, a beautiful design, and, believe it or not, the potential to be worth an absolutely jaw-dropping amount of money. So buckle up, because this story is going to take us through American history, culture, and into the exciting world of rare coin collecting where tiny details can make all the difference. Let's begin with the woman at the heart of this coin, Wilma Maniller. If you've never heard of her before, you're in for a powerful history lesson. Wilma Maniller was a trailblazer. She made history as the first female principal chief of the Cherokee Nation, and she was a fierce advocate for Native American rights, women's empowerment, and community development. Her leadership transformed the Cherokee Nation, and her impact on American history was so significant that in 2022, she was honored as part of the American Women Quarters program. And that brings us to the coin itself. The obverse of the coin features the classic portrait of George Washington, but with a fresh twist. For the American Women Quarters program, the Mint brought in renowned sculptor Laura Garden Fraser's original design of Washington, which was actually created back in 1932, but only now used for circulating currency. It's a subtle but meaningful tribute that connects the past with the present. Now flip the coin over, and that's where the magic really begins. On the reverse side, you'll find a beautifully detailed image of Wilma Maniller. She's standing strong, wrapped in a traditional shawl, gazing toward the horizon with a look of courage and determination. Behind her is the seven-pointed star, a sacred symbol of the Cherokee Nation. And beside her, the word principal chief proudly acknowledges her historic role. It's not just a coin. It's a story, a symbol, and a legacy in your palm. But what makes this coin truly exciting for collectors isn't just the design or the person it honors. It's the rarity, and more importantly, the errors. You see, when it comes to coin collecting, minting errors are the golden ticket. And the Wilma Maniller quarter is known to have a few varieties that have sent collectors into a frenzy. Some of the rarest and most sought-after errors include double die obverse, where the letters or numbers on the front of the coin appear slightly doubled. Others have reported off-center strikes, where the coin's design is noticeably misaligned. There are even examples of die cracks, small raised lines that occur when the metal die begins to fracture during minting. These tiny details may seem insignificant to the untrained eye, but to a coin collector, they can mean the difference between spare change and serious money. And here's where it gets even better. Certain error coins of the Wilma Maniller quarter have been found in brilliant uncirculated condition, meaning they were never touched by human hands or entered into regular circulation. These pristine coins, combined with their historical significance and rare minting flaws, are incredibly desirable. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for these ultra-rare finds, often paying well above face value, sometimes thousands of times more. So the next time you get a handful of quarters and change, take a second look. That seemingly ordinary 2022 quarter might just have Wilma Maniller on the reverse, and it might just be one of the rare error coins that collectors are hunting for. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. Yes, it's true. Some of the rarest and most flawless Wilma Maniller quarter-dollar coins, especially those with unique minting errors, have been valued at a staggering $80,000. That's right. A simple quarter, just 25 cents, could be worth $80,000 if it has the right error and is in perfect condition. Imagine finding that kind of treasure in your pocket or coin jar. That's not just lucky. That's legendary. So keep your eyes open, coin lovers. You never know what history and hidden value might be lying in plain sight. Top 2, we're talking about one of the most captivating modern coins in U.S. history. Today's spotlight is on the 2022 Dr. Sally Ride Washington quarter dollar. And trust me, this one isn't just another shiny piece of change. It's a coin packed with inspiration, history, beauty, and yes, The thrilling possibility of being worth tens of thousands of dollars. That's right. But don't skip ahead just yet, because the real value lies not just in the number, but in the story behind the coin and the reasons it's become a collector's dream. Let's dive right in. 2022. The United States Mint launched the American Women Quarters Program, a series designed to honor powerful women who changed the course of American history. And one of the very first to be honored was Dr. Sally Ride, a name that echoes across space and time. Dr. Sally Ride wasn't just a scientist, she was a pioneer. In 1983, she became the first American woman to fly in space, breaking barriers and inspiring generations of young people, especially girls, to reach for the stars, literally. But what many don't know is that Sally Ride was also a physicist, educator, and advocate for science literacy. She devoted her life to making space and science more accessible to everyone. Now imagine holding a coin that captures that kind of legacy. That's exactly what the Sally Ride quarter does. On one side, you'll find the beautiful and bold portrait of George Washington, rendered in the original design by Laura Garden Fraser, selected specifically for the American Women Quarters. It's a powerful nod to history, symbolizing continuity and progress. But flip it over, and that's where the real magic happens. The reverse of the coin features Dr. Sally Ride, gazing out into space with Earth in the background, standing next to a window on the space shuttle. Her name curves elegantly around the edge, and the word E pluribus unum, out of many, one, reminds us how her individual achievements inspired a nation. But here's the part every collector needs to hear. Some of these coins were struck with errors, and those rare variations are what pushed this coin into the spotlight of the numismatic world. But let's talk about what kind of errors make this coin rare and valuable. Some Sally Ride quarters have been found with double die errors, where letters or numbers appear slightly doubled due to a misalignment during minting. These subtle shifts can increase a coin's value significantly. Then there are off-center strikes, where the design is noticeably shifted from the center of the coin, making each one unique. Even rarer are die cracks, which appear as raised lines on the coin's surface due to breaks in the minting die. All of these are considered minting anomalies, and they're exactly what collectors go crazy for. And if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare errors in mint state or uncirculated condition, meaning the coin looks as flawless as the day it was struck, then you might just be holding on to something incredibly valuable. What makes this coin even more attractive is its historical significance. This is not just a tribute to a famous person. It's a physical piece of American history, celebrating a woman who expanded our boundaries beyond Earth. That emotional and historical connection adds an extra layer of value that goes beyond metal and numbers. Now the big question. How much can this coin actually be worth? You might be thinking, it's just a quarter. How valuable could it really be? Well, prepare to be amazed, because rare error versions of the 2022 Dr. Sally Ride quarter dollar, especially those in pristine condition and authenticated by experts, have been estimated to be worth as much as $77,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single 25-cent coin, if it has the right combination of rarity, condition, and error, could be worth $77,000. That's a life-changing amount of money for a coin you could potentially find in your spare change. The next time you're sorting through your pockets, don't ignore those quarters. Take a close look, because that ordinary coin could hold an extraordinary secret. Top 3, we're diving into one of the most intriguing and meaningful coins to come out of the United States Mint in recent years, the 2023 Eleanor Roosevelt Washington quarter dollar. This is not just any coin. It's a tribute to a powerful legacy, an artistic masterpiece, and, believe it or not, it could be worth tens of thousands of dollars under the right circumstances. So make sure you stay with me until the very end, because the number I'm going to share may leave you speechless. Let's start with the incredible woman featured on this quarter. Eleanor Roosevelt was one of the most influential first ladies in American history. She redefined the role, not just standing beside her husband, President Franklin D. Roosevelt, but stepping forward as a leader, a humanitarian, and a global advocate for human rights. She served as the first U.S. delegate to the United Nations and helped draft the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Her courage, intelligence, and compassion made her a voice for those who had none, and her impact still resonates today. When the U.S. Mint selected Eleanor Roosevelt, as part of the American Women Quarters program. Collectors knew this coin would be something special. Now let's talk about the design. Because it's stunning. On the obverse of the coin, we see a bold, modernized portrait of George Washington, created by the gifted sculptor Laura Garden Fraser. This portrait was actually her original design from back in 1932, finally getting the spotlight it deserved nearly a century later. It's a fitting nod to both historical tradition and modern progress. But flip the coin, and you'll find Eleanor Roosevelt depicted in a beautifully detailed pose, calm yet commanding, reflecting her role as a fierce advocate for justice and equality. Her name is etched proudly alongside symbols of her global influence and commitment to human rights. The artistic detail in this design alone makes it a must-have for collectors, but the story doesn't end there. You see, not all Eleanor Roosevelt quarters are created equal. While millions were minted for circulation, only a few have emerged with rare and valuable errors. And those are the coins that serious collectors are chasing. Let's talk about what makes these rare versions so valuable. One of the most sought-after error types is the double die error, a misalignment during minting that causes parts of the design, especially the lettering or date, to appear slightly duplicated. This tiny visual flaw can send the value of a coin skyrocketing. Then there are off-center strikes, where the design is clearly misaligned and appears shifted to one side. These types of errors are extremely collectible because each one is unique. No two are exactly the same. Another known rarity is the die chip or cut error, where a piece of the die breaks off, causing an unusual raised blob or extra metal somewhere on the coin's surface. These might seem like imperfections, but to collectors, they're like finding a fingerprint from the minting process itself. Now, if you come across one of these rare errors, especially if the coin is in mint state, uncirculated, or has been professionally graded with a high score, it could be worth far more than you'd ever expect for a 25-cent coin. The rarity increases even more if the coin came from a limited production run, such as those from the San Francisco Mint with an S mark, or specially minted proof versions that were never intended for general circulation. These versions, particularly with errors, have been turning heads in the coin community. So here's the question we've all been waiting for. What's the most that one of these Eleanor Roosevelt quarters could be worth? If you're lucky enough to find one of the rare error coins, especially in perfect uncirculated condition, collectors have placed values on them as high as $75,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. One coin, just 25 cents in face value, can be worth $75,000 if it meets the right criteria. That's the thrill of coin collecting. That's the excitement of numismatics. You never know what hidden treasure is waiting for you in your change jar, your dresser drawer, or that forgotten piggy bank from years ago. So, what should you do if you think you found one? Examine the coin closely. Look for unusual doubling in the letters or numbers, check for design shifts, or raised extra blobs of metal. If you spot anything that looks out of the ordinary, consider having it evaluated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. A simple coin microscope or magnifying glass could lead you to one of the greatest finds of your lifetime. And here's the best part. It doesn't take a fortune to get started. You don't need a vault or a collection of gold. All you need is curiosity, a keen eye, and maybe a little bit of luck. Top 4, we're diving into the world of the 1971 United States Washington quarter dollar, a coin that most people would probably overlook without a second thought. But you're smarter than that. You know that every coin has a story, and sometimes that story ends with a value that can make your jaw drop. So don't go anywhere. This isn't just another old coin. This is a coin that collectors are hunting, dealers are watching, and hidden treasure hunters are dreaming about. Let's start with a little background. The 1971 Washington quarter was part of the standard circulation struck by the U.S. Mint. It features the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse, a design created back in 1932 by the sculptor John Flanagan. Washington faces left, framed by the word Liberty above his head and the motto, "In God We Trust," to the left. The date, 1971, is placed boldly below his neckline. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the majestic American eagle on the reverse. Wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows, and surrounded by olive branches, representing both power and peace. It's a design every American is familiar with. But here's the secret. Not all 1971 quarters are created equal. You see, Most of the quarters from 1971 were clad coins, meaning they were made from a copper core with a nickel outer layer. These were standard issue for everyday transactions, and millions were minted. But a small number of these coins turned out to be anything but ordinary. What makes a 1971 quarter stand out in the sea of pocket change? Minting errors. And if there's one thing collectors absolutely love, it's a coin with a rare error. That's where the excitement really begins. There are known 1971 quarters with double die obverse errors, where the letters or numbers appear slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. These small but noticeable imperfections make the coin incredibly rare. Then there are off-center strikes, where the coin's design is clearly shifted away from the center, sometimes cutting off parts of the image or text entirely. These off-center coins are highly desirable because each one is unique. No two off-center strikes are the same, but it gets even better. Some rare 1971 quarters have been discovered struck on the wrong planchet, for example. A quarter struck on a dime planchet, which is smaller and thinner. These mismatched coins were never meant to exist, but somehow made it out of the mint and into circulation. Finding one is like hitting the jackpot. And don't forget about the proof coins and high-grade uncirculated specimens. Coins that were never used, never scratched, never touched by circulation, those in pristine mint condition are incredibly valuable. The shine, the sharpness of detail, and the clarity of the strike all matter when grading the coin's value. Collectors pay close attention to mint marks, too. A 1971 quarter with no mint mark was produced in Philadelphia, while those with a D were struck in Denver, and a very limited number may have been minted in San Francisco with an S, especially in proof sets. These small letters can make a big difference in value, especially when combined with errors or exceptional condition. So, you're probably wondering, how can a coin that says 25 cents on it be worth more than a car? More than some people make in a year? Well, here's the moment you've been waiting for. Certain rare versions of the 1971 Washington quarter dollar, with the right combination of minting error, unusual planchet, and exceptional condition, have been valued at an incredible $72,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. One little quarter, just 25 cents in face value, can be worth $72,000. Now tell me, when was the last time you checked your change? That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about metal or money. It's about stories, mystery, and the thrill of the hunt. Every old coin could be a hidden gem, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. So the next time you're handed a quarter, take a second look. You might just be holding history, and maybe even a fortune, in the palm of your hand. Top 5, we're uncovering the hidden story behind a coin that millions of people have seen, but only a few have truly recognized for what it could be worth. That's right. We're talking about the 1974 United States Washington quarter dollar. It might look like a regular 25-cent piece, but some of these coins have stunned collectors and experts with their surprising value and mysterious minting flaws. And the most valuable examples? You're going to want to hear this all the way to the end, because one rare 1974 quarter could be worth an incredible amount of money. Let's dig into the details. The Washington quarter has been a staple in U.S. pockets since 1932. Featuring the proud profile of George Washington on the obverse, this classic design by sculptor John Flanagan is instantly recognizable. You've probably seen it 1,000 times. But in 1974, something unusual happened, a perfect storm of history, production changes, and minting mistakes combined to make this coin particularly interesting. Now, let's start with the basics. In 1974, quarters were struck primarily at two locations, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. You can tell where your coin was made by looking for a small letter on the front of the coin, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. No letter means it came from Philadelphia. A D stands for Denver. Pretty simple, right? But here's where things get fascinating. Most 1974 quarters were minted using a copper-nickel clad composition, a change made by the U.S. Mint in the mid-1960s due to rising silver prices. But, and this is important, some test coins and experimental strikes from around this time may have been mistakenly minted on leftover silver planchets, or even on the wrong metal altogether. These error coins are extremely rare, and they are the ones that send collectors and auction houses into a frenzy. What kinds of errors should you be looking for? Let's start with the most exciting: wrong planchet errors. Imagine finding a quarter that weighs differently, sounds unusual when dropped, or has a different shine. That could be a clue that your coin was struck on a silver or foreign planchet. These coins were not meant to be released, but a few escaped into circulation, and today they are considered numismatic gold. Then there's the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck with a die that wasn't properly aligned, causing letters and numbers, like "In God We Trust" or the year 1974, to appear slightly doubled. These errors are rare but visible to the naked eye or under magnification, and they increase the value significantly. Also be on the lookout for off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks. These minting mistakes turn ordinary coins into collectible masterpieces. Each error tells a story about what went wrong, and that's exactly what collectors are after. They're not just buying metal, they're buying a mystery, a mistake frozen in time. Even without errors, a 1974 Washington quarter in mint state, especially one graded MS-67 or higher by a professional coin grading service, can fetch impressive prices. Coins in this kind of pristine condition are rare because most quarters were used heavily in circulation. Finding one with no scratches, no wear, and a strong strike is like finding a time capsule from the 70s. But if your 1974 quarter checks all the boxes, a rare error, uncirculated condition, and unique characteristics, its value could be far greater than most people ever imagine. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for, a rare, error-filled, high-grade 1974 Washington quarter dollar has been valued by expert collectors at as much as $70,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A coin with just 25 cents printed on it could be worth $70,000, depending on its condition, error, and uniqueness. That's the beauty of coin collecting. You never know what kind of history and hidden value is hiding in your own home. It might be in a shoebox, in an old coin jar, or sitting quietly in your wallet right now. So don't underestimate the power of your pocket change. Take the time to look at every coin carefully, especially those old ones from the 1970s. The next great find might be waiting just beneath the surface, and who knows, you could be the lucky one to discover it. If you found this video helpful or exciting, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another rare coin spotlight. We've got more amazing discoveries and real-world coin values coming your way. Thanks for watching, and until next time, may your next quarter be the one worth $70,000.